Blessed Advent. I'm Mark Fowler, the lead pastor here at First Church. I've gone to a well-worn volume that I have carried for many years. It was written by Howard Thurman. Actually, it's a collection of reflections and poems that Howard Thurman wrote called The Mood of Christmas. At the time of his death in 1981, Howard Thurman, who predated the civil rights movement, but in many ways was one of the parents of that movement and a mentor to Martin Luther King Jr. He was the Dean Emeritus at the Marsh Chapel at Boston University. He also played formative roles at Howard University in Washington, D.C., at Morehouse College, at Spelman, and many other African American or historically black colleges. He served and founded local churches. Howard Thurman was a great theologian, ethicist, pastor, and mystic. He helps me every year to focus on the true meaning of Christmas. He writes out of the African American tradition, and this year, when he describes the experience of Christmas out of that perspective, it in a new and strange way embraces us all. I want to read to you one of his pieces to begin our Advent reflection, The Singing of Angels. There must be always remaining in everyone's life some place for the singing of angels, some place for that which in itself is breathlessly beautiful, and by an inherent prerogative throwing all the rest of life into a new and created relatedness. Something that gathers up in itself all the freshness of experience from drab and commonplace areas of living, and glows in one bright light of penetrating beauty and meaning. And then it passes. The commonplace is shot through now with new glory. Old burdens become lighter. Deep and ancient wounds lose much of their old hurting. Crown is placed over our heads that for the rest of our lives we are trying to grow tall enough to wear. Despite all of the crassness of life, despite all of the hardness of life, despite all of the harsh discords of life, life is saved by the singing of the angels. Angels we have heard on high, singing sweetly o'er the plain, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strain. Gloria, Gloria, glory to God on high. I pray that none of us have outgrown the songs of the angels. That perfect possibility that is meant for us, into which we together can grow. Last Advent, some friend of mine, and I know who it is, but I won't embarrass them now, gave me this wonderful coffee set. But I have not wanted to break it apart. There's the 4 words that mark the 4 weeks of Advent: peace, hope, love, and joy. This year, in our church, we began with hope. And in hope, all of the rest are possible. There were foolish quizzes that were being given from one clergy member to another, asking, what is the official order in which these things come? And there is one. But this year is unlike any other year. And so, we begin with hope that comes from the sound of the angels. Blessings.